going mad. When that happens, I itch to get out of camp. Because they've stopped calling now, which means I can't see the cat anymore, I don't think. Yeah, it looks like somebody's been driving in. There and here. Leaves place. I didn't even see that giraffe when I went to KFC. I was pouring petrol in the digger and I just kept crunching the monkey oranges. And I thought, yeah, and I heard him and I couldn't understand what was making the noise because I couldn't even see him. And then I saw the tail swish because it was dark still. And then I suddenly realized, oh, there's something there. And it was only when my eyes adjusted that I see his legs. I couldn't see any of his body. He was so close to me and the rest of him was up there in the sky. Okay. There we go. Came through here, I went to the tracks of Malawan female. Crossed in there. Also, the baboons must have seen her when she came out of these houses. And there are no roads that we can follow really, but we're going to try this little old track that runs in the backyard. If we don't get anything along this road, there's a man. Obvious. Lion, of course, were calling again last night. Sounds like, judging by what I've already heard on the radio, and what Andy was saying, I didn't hear anything. I was asleep until 1, awake till 3. Didn't hear anything in time, but evidently 2 males calling. And might just be that our youngster has headed back to the Pride. I'm going to wait to see what I can hear on the radio about that. condensation. There's some liquid dripping. So I guess I'm going to take a chance. Hang on. Take a chance and head up here. See if we can find some tracks up this road. Looks like it's been opened up quite a bit again. But it looks like she crossed the street to here. Somewhere here. Morning, David. Canada. Not seeing any tracks. Must be in here. David is saying we've seen that buffalo and hippo are not concerned with crocodiles. Are crocodiles concerned with any species? I think. Not really, you know. Crocodiles, David. Crocodiles have been part of that of their environment, part of their world for so long that any animals that have, or mammals that have come into their territory over the last few million years have had to adapt. Might be walking up this track, only a few minutes ahead of us. She's gone into the thick block of bush. She's her for a while until she comes out. No, crocodiles aren't really, especially large crocodiles. There's nothing that really can take on a large crocodile. Hippos do push them out of the way. Sometimes when water starts shrinking, hippos and crocs start competing for sandbars. But sometimes you find them sunning themselves together. It's not always a set rule as to how hippos and crocs behave with each other, because in some places it's different. Was that an impala? Just to reiterate, when it comes to animal behavior, there's no set rule about how animals have to behave. Every animal is an individual, and every animal has its own way of doing things. Each individual within a species, not necessarily just the species. So in some areas, excuse me, I'm listening to the radio. Oh, nice work, Mark. Yeah, but now we've just got the vehicles full of dried teak leaves. We're not going to go any further anyway. Elephants have completely closed off this road. Pardon? Too late to drive. Broken, so I need it. Oh, I'm only around these teak leaves. And that's the end of the road. Ryan, come in. Ryan, did you say you're coming down to look for that Mafazi inquest? I'll fix it. I'm just talking on the radio. Don't worry, I'll move. Copy here. I found the tracks this morning. That tan, she crosses that road that heads down from the tracker cabins down to Steve's house. Do you want to go 8? Okay now. Sorry. Concentrating on talking. Ryan, you there? Ryan, come in. Yeah, maybe. She's gone into the block sort of southeast of Steve's house. The owner's house on the river. Yeah, primitive. I'm on an old track that runs through the Slatinia where they've been cutting some wood. Tracks cross this as well into a block between here and the fence line. Negative. I'm going to go around towards the gate and see if she might come out somewhere there. Also, Mfene were colouring this morning at about, just before I left camp, so she's not too far ahead of me, but I can't go any further than this small road that ends. So anyway, David, I don't know if that fully answers your question. that pathway. Gone. They all. Hello, Vivian in Chicago. Wanting to know if we occasionally drive over tracks accidentally. Yes, most certainly we do. Sometimes we even drive over them on purpose, because if we, like sometimes when we've got a cat walking on a road, to drive and follow every single footprint will take forever, and that's what, meanwhile the cat is walking. So very often you see tracks on the road and you can see ahead of you that the cat is still on the road. You'll drive on those tracks because they've become inconsequential, because there's a set of them as long as you're driving. What becomes a bit of a tricky situation is sometimes, like now, when the cat left the road, to be able to go back to the point where the cat left the road and be able to find it, and of course that means you're driving over tracks again. So it is possible to obliterate tracks and destroy the whole tracking process. But it's for the guys that are driving, the other guys that are driving around, they have a tracker on their front seat. So the tracker is there to actually Take a chance and see if we can't pick her up. There's an area of bush to our left, which is southeastern corner. And should we try that track? That peters out. Go this way. Might be better. Could spend a couple of days in there if she makes a kill. Doesn't sound like they've found the lions yet, but it sounds like that young male has moved back up to the area where the rest of the pride is. The tracks are going up and down, and we're not going to see him today, I don't think, because it sounds like he's moved back north, out of our range. I'm going to concentrate on this cat for a little while. One of the herds of elephants is also way up in the north. We might be able to. What's up, Dacos? Alarm calls, perhaps. Must be a mother and child, this Dacre. Okay. Alarm calls anyway to be heard. Another Dacre. Gee, Karuna would have a field day here. Would be now. I saw something. Morning, Deborah Rose. There is leopard. Gone that way. The male. And there's another one here. There. That one. Ah, there are a lot of green pigeons up there eating jackalberry fruit. Go ahead, Ryan. Which in there is that cut line? I don't have names for any of these roads down here. Okay, so if you correct, that's River Lodge. You want to try 8? Sorry. Okay, I'm just going to communicate with Ryan quickly, folks, and we're going to listen again. Are you there? Ryan? Okay, that road that runs into River Lodge through the gates, if you take that back east, after the crossing, that river crossing, you get, there's that house on the river. There's a big sandy four-way junction. Her tracks cross that heading sort of southeast. Okay, so I followed, that road goes to a little pan, crosses through a little donga with a little tar patch. And then there's a new road that they're cutting, heading back south. I've went up that, and she also crosses that diagonally, more or less in line with the previous tracks. I'm now on access road. I've got, looks like the young male and cub tracks crossing this, but there's a lot of mover tracks on top of it. No, there shouldn't have been, although I did hear some cars driving around at about 9. Bless you. Drink water upside down. So, Deborah Rose, alright, sorry, Deborah Rose was just busy with Ryan's coming to give us a hand looking for this leopard. It means that it's him and his tracker, which affords a little bit more detail for me, or help. What is this? Some urine. Cat weed. I'm going to have to get to Deborah Rose's question in a little while. Although there's not much that I can really add, Deborah. Deborah was asking about an experience I had last year down in the Cape with my mother, her brother, and my cousin. My uncle and my cousin. And 4 of us went ziplining through some beautiful yellowwood Oceanic forest. cats have been all over the place. Said we haven't been down this way because we've been going up to that line. Wouldn't it be just, that's just so typical. So we leave camp and go, every drive we go up north, we haven't been coming down here, so now all of a sudden all these tracks are showing me that the leopards have been here while we've been up with the lion. What I can tell you about the zip lining, you know, I'm not one that's going to jump out of a plane. I will never go bungee jumping. I'm not so afraid of heights as much as I am afraid of falling. Not afraid, but I don't like that feeling of falling. I like the feeling of floating. It's like scuba diving. You go down to 150 feet and you just float down 150 feet on a deep dive. Three-dimensional freedom that you get underwater. But the zip line is different. You can control your speed, and just up there in the canopy is incredible. So you don't get there's no feeling of vulnerability at all. You feel very safe, tethered to the cables. And I tell you, Deborah, it's a wonderful thing to do if you're going to do it with family. Good fun, good for a laugh. My mom, we were 73 at the time. Her brother was just about 70, I think. That I'm getting colder and colder because the tracks seem to have gone back the other way. It's difficult to tell where these tracks originally came from. Maybe she's already gone around that way. lot of alarming hits. Franklins and particulars. Those Franklins aren't doing anything. Yeah, where you now? They copied you. There's a spot of urine and some tracks on the access road, but they're heading more or less north-northwest. My daughter, but that might have been where he came from when he went down towards Heimerkop yesterday. Zebra and lots of tracks. Impala. Getting to run around by cats, but you know, with this kind of bush, I wonder how many times we drive past them. Even if they stand these grasses, we wouldn't even see them. Okay, so you can only look further. Impala are far too relaxed. Good morning, Sharon in Florida. Is that Tampa in Florida? Sharon is asking quite a question that a lot of people ask regarding tracking. Not so easy to explain it. It's more something that you have to show. Not easy to show you either because the camera is a little bit high. But in terms of freshness of a track, Sharon's saying, assuming there's no inclement weather or anything, how do you know it's not tracks from the day before? Well, of course, the one thing is it depends on the substrate, and in certain types of sand, fresh tracks leave very, very sharp edges, very sharp points to them. And excuse me. And as the track ages, even a day, and we have had a bit of wind, those sharp edges become rounded, and the tracks become less distinct. And it's just something that one learns over time. It's just something that you pick up over time, how to differentiate between a track that's been there a day and a track that's been there an hour, or even a track that has just been laid down. Like that one there. This is now going the other way. That was driven over. Excuse me a moment. These tracks are a little bit older. Of course, there's another way of not only the sharpness and clarity of the track in terms of aging a track. There are other clues that are easy to pick up, especially given local knowledge about other animal and bird movements. And early in the morning, things like francolins and doves come out onto the road to feed because, well, with the early morning sun, any grass seed that is on the road throws a very, very tiny shadow, and it's a lot easier for them to find seed than it is walking through the grasses. And they come out also to have dust baths. So you get, first thing in the morning, you get doves and francolins on the road. Their tracks could be on top of a cat track, can give you an indication. There's things like antlions that dig their holes, as well as moving from hole to hole. The antlions leave little trails, and they do that in the afternoons. There are all sorts of subtle signs that can impact on the tracks that you're following, and sometimes when there are other tracks on top of those tracks, can also help to age the track. signs of some nocturnal animals that might have been walking around. Something one just picks up over time. Okay. Okay, I think I sort of got all of that. Sorry, but I didn't get who that's from. Marsha in Louisville. Hello, Marsha. Yes, there are cheetah here, Marsha, and there are some open. We haven't really seen many of the open plains where they're likely to be. But yes, there are cheetah here. We actually had some cheetah tracks the other day, and they were following cheetah tracks yesterday. And once again, I've got to get out. Excuse me. Very confusing somehow. Well, not so much for the male. Because he crossed that road, came this way, now he's gone down that way. We can't head that way, so we're not going to get signal. Still don't know where Mom's tracks have gone though. These are there were older tracks here, but leopard all over the place. Oxpeckers in here. Okay, now I'm not quite sure of the question now. Vivian in Chicago. Becky was showing you tracks. Those tracks, there were tire marks over the edges of those tracks. Those tracks are from yesterday. There are fresher tracks. And I'm thinking, let's just have a look down the side of the world. What exactly was Vivian's question about the car tracks over the cat tracks? I see. Yeah, it is hard to tell from the camera's point of view, Vivian, but there were tire tracks right on the edge of the cat tracks, and it was just obliterating the very edge of the cat tracks. So yes, those particular set of tracks, it was hard to tell which was over which. No, it wasn't. Ryan, come in. That's the older tracks, and then the newer tracks on top of it. Top of our tire tracks from yesterday. Morning, Linda. Wanting to know if there are any middens here in Thornybush. Well, elephants don't have a midden, Linda. Elephants are not territorial. Only animals that have territories have middens. Haven't found any middens yet. Of course, I'm not discussing a particular species of animal, and we normally don't even mention them on radio, on camera. So I'm not discussing middens about them. Other middens that we might find are mongoose or civet middens. But no, it's not only in the wet season. They also use their middens in the dry season. In fact, with civets, you can follow their diet in the different seasons by what is left in the midden. For those of you not sure what a midden is, it's basically like a latrine. I think she came this way first, and then she went down along the river, and then she's gone back that way. That's what I think. From where she was last night, she came down here. These tracks look a little bit older, and there's the youngsters' tracks here too. This is on top of our tracks coming back to camp last night at 6 o'clock. Not sure if we'll retain signal here. Hope so. It makes sense why we didn't see any tracks coming out of camp. Okay. I guess it's time we made our way across the river. We're not going to find these cats now. Actually, you know, maybe we will. We go back up to the entrance road, maybe. Good morning, Tony, California. Any chance of seeing Ellie's? If there's a fair chance, I want to go across the river and follow up, see if we can find them. You must know by now that if there are going to be elephants to be found, I'm going to find them and I'm going to sit with them. But unless we find tracks and unless the elephants within the area that we can film in or broadcast in, there's not much chance of getting them. But if they're around and we do find signs of them, then we will be able to see them. But so far, as yet this morning, no sign of elephants in this part of the world. And at the moment, although these I think are the tracks that are older than the tracks we found this morning, bringing the camera down here, also going down to the river, could be Ellie's down here. It's not like we can go to elephants, it's not like we can just go straight to a particular species of animal. They move all the time. And where they might be one day, the next day they could be 5 miles away. So it's not an exact science. It's not like we can just leave camp and go straight to a particular animal. And it does require a fair amount of guesswork and a fair amount of tracking and luck, being in the right place at the right time. day or two old, being driven over. We need fresh tracks. Elephants can be a lot easier than cats to find. Cats are very quiet. Elephants, at least, when you get closer to them, you can stop and listen. You can hear them breaking branches and feeding. So often you can find elephants a little easier than you can find cats. Not always. Sometimes elephants can be very quiet. They want to be. Morning, Clarissa. Clarissa's asking about the documentary we're making. Not really a documentary as such, as much as it is a, well, I suppose it's more like a docudrama cross reality type thing. Basically what we're doing is going to be called TIA. This is Africa. And it is about how we go about presenting a live broadcast here in the bush. And yes, it is focusing on different things. In fact, it's going to focus on 3 animals in particular: elephant, lion, and leopard. And that's why we want to follow individuals. We want to build a little story around certain individuals. Morning, Impala. But it's also the story about how we go about presenting a live broadcast and all the equipment issues and trials and tribulations of getting things out to the world. Not so great for filming, is it? So there's going to be other herd. Other herd. Oh, something is scratching me on my neck. So it's our crew and their relationships between all of us in camp. There'll be a little bit of a human element, but then of course there's also going to be the animal element and the particular animals we follow. I was hoping that we could build a story around that young male lion for the one episode. We want to build a story around this leopard for another episode. One of the reasons why I really need to find her, because we need her. We need her and her cubs. We've got a lot of elephant footage already. Not enough, but we've got a lot. We're only here for a short period of time. And time is running out. So much so that we might even have to just go and get footage one day. Not do a live drive. Go get footage of these cats that are north of us. We want footage of the cubs. Can't. And as long as we're live, we can't get there. Unfortunately. Asking about cheetahs this morning. Someone was asking about cheetahs this morning, but they just found a cheetah just on the edge of our broadcast range. No, Andy. Sorry, sometimes I've got to listen to the radio. It's not easy to get a word in edgeways. Tracks on top of our tracks from this morning. So, just to fill you in, a lot of chatter on the radio because one of the guys picked up a cheetah. female cheetah, and it's like a magnet, convergence of vehicles. And because we only allow 2 vehicles at a time to view an animal, the guys are already calling in their lineup for that cheetah. She is heading north. I think by the time we get anywhere near there, she'll be out of the... Excuse me. Could go back towards the gate and hope that we're going to find her, but I'm not giving up. I don't usually give up so easily, but I give up. Driving around means driving over tracks even more. Ryan, come in. Are you still down here on Ilkley? Picked up other tracks on that little section of power line, but I figured that must be after she was seen last night, and then headed down towards Hamakop, and then from there along the river to where we saw those tracks. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give up over the river now. Seven vehicles for that cheetah. And she's a nervous cheetah. And only one vehicle at a time. 7 vehicles. It'll be 5 o'clock this afternoon before we can Nobody's found the lion yet this morning. Those and I'm about to drive over. Young hyena. I've got a grass seed or something in my collar, like a needle digging into my neck. So I'm fiddling with it a lot. Sorry about that. It's starting to get a little bit raw. That's because I've got so many layers on. Road, often a good road to see animal movement, whether they move north or south. Some of them use this road to traverse east-west because it is on top of a ridge. Animals do tend to move quite a lot on top of the ridges, more open, less vegetation. Of elephants that were moving around far to the west. We'll make our way that way if we can. See if I can catch up on what the guys are doing with that cheetah. The radio suddenly gone quiet. Both of them. Either they're both going on together or they're both quiet. Sign of elephant, or fresh sign. What could be a pickup remedy here in the bush? Chew on a guarri stick. You've got to think of something to concentrate on. Tara used to get bad hiccups. Lasted for the whole day. busy with P. Only line now, it's picking up lion tracks up in the north. So I think just as well we spend as much time as we could with that young male, because you know when they're going to come back to this, across this particular road. Far east. Maybe we'll get to that cheetah a bit later. We'll see what happens with the vehicles in about half hour or so, whether they are moving through that cycling. North again. And in Konkapan, which is just long one, and that's right on the edge of signal. So our little boy was here. Maybe he was going to come here from what's the fan? Station full up in Madolang Galam Konzo on Nanzan, heading north. Okay, copy. So audio was also further north. Okay, copy, thanks. So he did head further north from here. They heard him earlier this morning, further north. And so he's gone. But one of the guys by the name of Flores just saying radio, saying that he's been up and down everywhere. I've been on several roads going both ways, obviously looking, trying to find some sign of the rest of the pride maybe. Still no sign of elephant. They say we've lost comms with FC. Something must have happened there. So, got any questions coming through? Maybe we need to head a bit further west, see if we can find some elephant tracks. toy lion came along here from Waxful Fan. We've come along this way. Both ways, up and down. Buffalo. Signs of elephant. Come into the realm, man. Mountain backdrop. get used to me. More rustling. Sounds like there's a herd in there. Yeah. Take this opportunity to take my jacket off. Quite comical. A little one. And a very big female. She's going to come out into the open now, perhaps. I'm guessing we're still broadcasting. Haven't been able to contact Andy for a while. There's been a power failure or something. That is a massive cow. That's the second one. Well, just the width of her horns rather, more than anything else. So we just managed to get to the front of this herd of buffalo. We're gonna need to. I need to reverse back. that we can have them cross in front of us. We might be lucky enough to see a particular individual. There's supposedly a couple of white. Probably have this whole herd going to cross the road. I'm just going to have to be a bit patient. What's the lineup for that skunk hunt? Okay, I'm just with this Slambenyari and I'll make my way there shortly. They're starting to move north now. They're crossing this cut line, heading up towards Dingaan. So we're about northeast of Wexpool right now. Bless you. At least your sneeze doesn't chase buffalo. So we can count 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 so far. 7, 8 across the road. This is going to be quite interesting. We're going to have 100 or so buffalo surrounding us shortly. There's going to be a fair amount of them crossing behind us. Oh, wonderful, the vehicle. Sure, you're welcome. There's a gymnogene. Just landed in that tree above him. Yeah, Mark, yeah, go. Affirmative, you're welcome. Did you try and get it?
Yeah, the gray bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 feet.
Go forward and see if we can see it again. Oh, it's off. Well, here we are. Smack bang in the middle of a herd of buffalo. Also might actually be able to get to this cheetah. We're lucky. Oh, Sean, you're quite lucky. bit of a skin problem, that youngster there. This big boy coming out in front of us now. Magnificent big buffalo. Horns are full of bark. Hello, old boy. Morning. Gash on him. And this is why when we see some of those older bulls that we call Duggar boys that we had yesterday at the pan, oh, look at that tiny little thing there, Vicky. You can barely see it amongst the grass. It's smaller than an impala. As you can see with a big herd like this, there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of movement. Being a big herd like this, they have to constantly be on the move. And it's those really old buffalo bulls that are reaching senility. They're no longer reproductive, and they are tired of this constant movement of the herd, this constant grazing and moving. Because a herd like this, and there could be several hundred here, we don't really know, but they got to be on the move all the time. And as such, when you get old buffalo bull, you just want to find a spot where there's mud and water and grazing, and stay in the same place for a while, for the last few days. Affirmative, I'm going to pull out now, hand up to Skankan. Okay, let's move along. Bye-bye. One. I've seen the call, I don't know. Very good in here. Morning, ladies.
That skunk up. I think still for there this morning.
Yeah.
Still a little bit on edge.
Okay.
Run out of calm.
Yeah.
Might be a little bit. So just start off and then just eventually get out.
Cool. Where's the on long one road?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Sean. Bye, ladies. the log of the Slumming Joan on log, both one. Getting a bit far. African Harrier Hawk. Lots of tire tracks. They put in 2 new roads that aren't even on here yet. It's parallel. Oh well. We'll get there eventually. Yeah. I've got a feeling I know what's happened, but I don't have my phone with me. Right now, just trying to figure out where we are. I think we're way out of signal range at the moment. I thought Longwan Road would have was coming in here somewhere. Must be somewhere up here. Oh, is that Andy came through? Is that you? I've been trying to call you. Okay. So are we, how's the signal where I am? Okay. grasses, we're not going to see much. But who knows? Maybe we're lucky. If I'm on the right track. They said Longwine Road. This is. There we go. You're on the western side of the road. Yeah, I'm just at the corner now, leaving the road. Over visual, that's right. Okay, copy. Where's she in relation to you? Okay. Alright, yeah, I got it, thanks. Oh, you beautiful. Okay. Not too happy with us. Seems she was a lot more relaxed with the other vehicles. I think it's because the other vehicles have that general shape that makes it look uniform with all the other vehicles, and we're kind of slightly different. We've got a big antenna at the back, we've got one big thing in the middle of our vehicle, so she's looking at Becky with cross eyes. Well, there's your answer, folks. Got cheetah here at Thornybush. Here's a cheetah. Moving into the shade. Oh, she's very, very full too. She's also got a really funny tail. The tip of the tail's all running. A lot more space. Which station coming to the skunk car? Yeah, Flores, she's suddenly become highly mobile heading north. I'm going to try and keep my distance. I think our vehicle is different and she's not too fond of it. I think she's just to be our vehicle that she's not familiar with, and what is she is trying to stay with straight ahead of us. I think Flores has got her now. Again, I'm gonna have to leave her because it seems that I want her to realize that we are not a threat. So if I leave, it's probably gonna be best. Maybe we'll get to see some Ellies on the way home. She's watching me. She's not even vehicles. I think she knows that the other vehicle. I've never seen this vehicle, and it's different. I'm going to leave the sighting. It's clear she's not happy with us. Sure. Yeah, just take some layers off. Oh, we managed to get a good glimpse of her, but I could tell from the minute we stopped. I mean, even that other vehicle that was there with her, Ryan, managed to get in really close to her, and she wasn't even looking at him. Even when he started his vehicle, she wasn't looking at him. I'm going to take some layers off. That station's left alone with Flores. No one on lineup. But that is interesting. From a point of view of animal behavior and how it differs. They react differently. Elephants are just south of here. Somewhere. I wonder if it has something to do with the fact that she found out, might have been that she was brought and darted once upon a vehicle, jumping to conclusions. Maybe it's just the fact that the vehicle is going to have a look down at the dam, and then we'll head south. Start making our way back to camp. There's a banded mongoose on the other side, same colony we see periodically in the vervets, and they banded mongoose are now running away. They're very shy. And there's a Karaxine butterfly in the stump. No, the elephant are not too far. They're probably going to make their way to the dam later today. Oops. But there are vehicles there. No sign of crocodile. move along. Parking a bit away, but I think it'll be good enough. It's a bit of it actually coming into it now, so. Those I haven't seen before. I'm not too sure which is. I don't think it's the group we've seen. With white hat. Oh, we don't have signal. Probably that is actually off. Now, maybe going to water. They're coming out onto that one and keep them. Should be a couple of minutes. You know, I would have loved keep reversing and have them. They're now crossing Long One ahead, Shusha north of the dam. Maybe they're just going to go below the dam. Oh, and we're surrounded by Ellies. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Okay, you're now going straight for the water. We're also going to go straight for the water. Wow, that was pretty cool. And like that. So we'll be a little late today. People don't have to go to work tomorrow. Saturday for some, I mean. Sunday for us. We're still on Saturday night, I think. No, in the morning Sunday night. But some people possibly getting sleepy-eyed. 10-man. Hope they're going to get to the day. I'd love to get onto the other side if I get there. I don't know if we will from a point of view of the get across around by the time they come to can move a lot faster than something. Yeah, I'm behind you. And here they come. Just in front of them. Massive numbers now. I don't think I'm going to get in manage this, and then there's a vehicle. And then can't film the vehicle. But it'll all turn out to move up the dam a little bit, I think. 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 17. Hello. Number 18 right behind us. I'm going to have to move forward. Could be another 2. few that I... They're not the greatest, but... Yeah. Tree in the way. Trying to get to the cleaner water from the shore, or even though the way they splash the surface through the surface to get to cleaner water underneath. Thirsty children. No wonder they water. When they drink, it will not to stir up the mud. So there's somebody at the back splashing a bit more. Not hot enough maybe to swim yet. Later in the day, that mud bath and get into the dam. Where's the bull that was at the back of us? Pushing. They move away. That one. Oh. Hello, everybody. Hello. Can I get the look up in your eyes? Touch my head. Hello, baby. Hello. What's going on now? There's something there. There's light or something. Something there that reacts. We're in a really awkward spot to people. Children. Hello. What's up, old? Coming here. It's gonna. Yeah. Something coming past us. Could have been. There's Impala. It can't be Impala that's spoofing. But if there's anything else, Impala would be shouting. There's only Marla. Maybe there's a smell of something. Then they heard moving through the bushes. So, an interesting bit of behavior and towards the back of us. I don't know. Okay. Amazing, huh? Probably got quite a bit. They're completely calm now. They're in the bushes. Better say goodbye. I have to head back to camp. We're a long way from. One moment. Before we do, let's just go sign off with them. And send us through. Start back this way now. No, stopped again. Okay, well, it's time for a goodbye. Thank you for joining us. It was a little quiet this morning until the end. I think towards the end, I hope some of you. And you went to sleep, you snooze, you lose. But this afternoon, my back, they are heading more or less. Good chance, here they are in front of us. There's a good chance we might back this afternoon. And, well, they're mobile again. Okay.
Buddy, from me, Becky, and Andy. Yeah?